I am trying to platinum as many PlayStation exclusives as I possibly can. So in today's video, I decided to become the greatest delivery man of all time to earn Death Stranding's platinum trophy. But what does it take to be the world's best at delivering packages, you may ask? Well, you have to collect 63 trophies in total at a 3 out of 10 difficulty and potentially taking up to 100 hours to do so. And also there's the tiny problem of this being in America that has been overrun by the dead and their weird gooey powers. The rain makes everything age. Evil delivery people try to steal packages, and every time someone dies, their body turns into a ticking time bomb. So yeah, obtaining this platinum isn't going to be as simple as delivering a few packages. Just quickly before we get into the trophies, I'd just like to say a big thank you to all those supporting the videos and channel, and if you haven't subscribed already, what are you doing? We're closing in on 3,000 subs, so it'd be awesome if you could help get to that milestone. Thanks again, and now let's get back to the trophies. To start the game, we're introduced to the main man, Sam Porter Bridges, played by Norman Reedus, who as many people would know is Daryl Dixon from The Walking Dead. And actually recently I started watching The Walking Dead as I've never seen it before, so Norman has quickly become one of my favourite actors as he is fantastic in The Walking Dead and also in Death Stranding.
You got something you want to tell me?
So in this video, expect some Walking Dead memes. Continuing on, I pretty quickly learned that there was going to be lots of long cutscenes in this game, so stage 1 is simply to just complete the story. And so straight away I am thrown into the prologue where I have to deliver my first package. And so during this first delivery I also came across my first piece of lost cargo. Now this game, it's not technically online or multiplayer, but you are connected to a network which shows other players and what packages they have dropped, and you can actually pick them up and make the delivery for them, helping them out. And so I made my way through the environment towards the city, which is where I needed to drop off my own delivery and also where the lost cargo had to go. And so I accessed the terminal and it gave me the option to return the lost cargo and complete the order. And by doing this, I unlocked my first trophy, Good Samaritan, for delivering my first piece of lost cargo. And because I also completed the main delivery, I also got the trophy, Delivering is What I Do, for completing the prologue, Porter. After getting that trophy, Sam is then tasked with taking this body to the nearby incinerator, as if bodies aren't burnt after the people have died, things do not go well. And of course that's what happens, because on the route to the incinerator there are a bunch of BTs and they attack the truck, flipping it over. And unfortunately because of this, the body ends up necrotizing, which means it's pretty much a bomb now. And not gonna lie, there's a lot going on in this scene, as we also get a brief glimpse of the main bad guy of the story. We are also introduced to BB, which is a bridge baby, which essentially allows you to see the BTs or the monsters, as the baby is technically stillborn, so they're half in the living world and half in the dead world, so they can see both sides. And unfortunately the guy we were helping out, he sacrifices himself by throwing us his BB, and he ends up getting taken by the BTs. And this scene at the time, I honestly had no idea what was going on, but it is so cool. What is this game, bro? What is this game? What is it? And at this point I still had no idea what was going on, but essentially this is the beach and this is the in-between of the real world and people's transition to the afterlife. And from this we learn that Sam is a repatriate, which pretty much means that he can come back to life no matter what happened. And luckily Sam can't die, because as you can see, that is the aftermath of when someone dies. Yes, there is a massive explosion that happens. And so now that takes us into episode 1, Bridget. Now I'm not going to go over the full story, because for one, it's too hard to explain and it's very weird, and I'd recommend you just play it yourself. And second of all, I don't want this video to be too long, so I'm just going to show the highlights of the stories relating to the trophies. And so the first trophy I got in this chapter was for liking another person's structure. So as I mentioned earlier, there is a network in this game. So not only can you see other players' cargo, but also the structures they place down. So for example, I gave this ladder here a like, unlocking me the trophy. And now in order to complete this chapter, I had to deliver a body to the incinerator and actually get it there this time so it wouldn't blow up. And of course I also had my first in-game encounter with some BTs that all I had to do was sneak past, luckily, as I didn't have any weapons at this stage. And once I had completed this mission, I got the trophy. Oh, Rebuilding America. And so after getting that trophy, I decided to have a little bit of a break in the private room. Oh, he just gave me the finger. What? He's sticking his tongue out at me now. Oh, do you have to zoom in?
Yeah.
Oh, he covers up.
No, just keep doing it.
Wait, what does he do? Lift the... Oh! Why are you punching me, bro? What you doing? So yeah, after messing around a bit, I also got another simple trophy for simply going into the music player whilst in the room here and playing a song, which unlocked me the trophy Soothing Sounds. And then straight after that, I got another trophy for placing down my first sign, aka completing my first structure. And from then on, I was essentially going for the main goal of the game, which is to reconnect America, aka the UCA, United Cities of America, and to do this, I had to make deliveries to all these different buildings and cities around the map and connect them up. And so for each delivery you make, you also get graded on how good it is, with S being the best rank. And you also get points towards 5 different evaluation categories, so delivery time, delivery volume, cargo condition, and miscellaneous, which are pretty self-explanatory in the names. And whilst doing this, I got the trophy Prominent Porter for reaching grade 10 in any of those categories. I got the miscellaneous one. And whilst I was here, the leader of this way station allowed me to connect up his facility to the UCA's network, rewarding me with the trophy A New Day for the UCA for connecting my first new affiliate to the UCA. One down, lots more to go. Moving on, I completed some more delivery missions until I got to this one where I had to collect some chiral crystals, which are an important currency that drops from defeated BTs, or you can just find them around the area. And so I was introduced to the idea of recycling materials, as each facility can hold a certain amount of materials, which allows you to fabricate equipment. And in this case, I had to recycle some chiral crystals. And by doing this, I unlocked the trophy Chiral Crafter for recycling chiral crystals for the first time. Also, because of completing this mission, I got introduced to the concept of connection levels to a facility. So each facility has 5 stars, and each time you get a new star, you get a reward. And so as a result, the reward I got unlocked me the trophy Custom Kid for acquiring my first piece of customization data. Oh my god, well connected. Reach connection level 3 with the facility. That's 3 trophies, like back to back to back. What the heck? Oh my god, no way. Reach bridge link grade 1. What is going on, man? So somehow I got 4 trophies in the space of 2 minutes, which you don't see very often. And just to quickly explain that last trophy, the bridge link is the 5th evaluation category, and to upgrade this, you pretty much just have to get likes from other players or help them out. And then about 10 minutes later, I was introduced to the share locker, which allows you to donate weapons and equipment so other people playing Death Stranding can use it, helping them out, or you can also claim cargo from them as well, helping your own playthrough. And so all I did was donate something small, giving me the trophy Giver of Gifts for making my first donation. I then went on to have a go at the firing range, because contrary to popular belief, there is actually combat in this game, and it is not just a walking simulator. Anyway, by completing the firing range, I got enough likes to earn myself the trophy for reaching a total of 2,400 likes. This next trophy I got by complete accident. I went to like this bridge by clicking down on the D-pad. I mustn't have been close enough. Instead, Sam shouted out and I got a return from someone else playing the game, I guess, and I got the trophy. So after getting that trophy, I thought, why not tick off another easy trophy by doing a pee? Yes, that's right. You can urinate whenever you feel like in this game.
That was diabolical!
And doing it for the first time gets the trophy. I couldn't hold it in. A little while after that, my footwear became ruined and damaged after all the walking and delivering I had done. Luckily enough, I was carrying some extra pair of boots, so just by equipping them, I unlocked myself the trophy Boots Are a Porter's Best Friend. Only a couple of minutes later, on that exact same route, I ended up completing my first standard order, which are essentially the side missions or deliveries you can do in this game. They're not part of the main quest, but you just do them to unlock some extra stuff. And about 2 hours later, continuing on with the story, making more deliveries, I ended up getting a trophy for getting my first like from our BB. And in order to do this, I think you just have to make your way through a BT area without getting caught, as the BB gets stressed by the BT. So if you don't get caught, the BB is very happy and gives you a couple of likes. Whilst I was traversing my way through that BT area as well, I came across my first memory chip, which are the great collectibles in this game. And yes, unfortunately, I do have to find all of these.
Oh, no, no.
But we'll save that for later. But anyway, after I had collected that, all I had to do was go to the nearby terminal to share the memory chip data, which unlocked me the trophy A Thirst for Knowledge for restoring my first memory chip. And after that, at this point, I had come to a part in the story where we were truly introduced to the bad guy of the game, who is played by Troy Baker, who is fantastic in everything that he is in. But anyway, it ends up that he can control the BT, so he spawns in this gigantic massive boss that we have to fight against. Now, I'm not gonna lie, the boss fights in this game, they are a good change of pace from just constantly making deliveries, but they are very simple. In the end, they essentially just boil down to you running away to open space, throwing some grenades at the boss over and over again until you run out, which then other people who have played the game before, their avatars throw you some weapons that you can use yourself, and you just rinse and repeat that over again until their health bar is gone. I was also playing on the hardest difficulty, and I managed to get through this boss on my first attempt, so really the bosses aren't super challenging. Luckily for me, after defeating it, I did get myself a trophy, Catcher Crusher, for defeating a catcher. And also after eliminating it, I did get the trophy, We Need You, for completing episode 2, Armorly. From there, it allowed me to move into chapter 3, where I had to cross this gigantic lake in the middle of America, apparently, on this boat, until I could get to the central region, which was the next place I had to connect all of the facilities to the network. After that, the next trophy I got didn't come until a few hours later when I was escaping from a BT area. I took a bit of a fall taking damage, which caused my BB to start crying. You are able to give it a bit of a soothing to calm it down. Did unlock me the trophy Sleep Tight Little BB for soothing a crying BB and stop the crying for the first time. And only a few minutes later, because I had taken that fall, I had taken a bit of damage, so I decided to sit down and rest, which not only gets you back your stamina, by choosing the option to sleep, you are also able to recover health as well, which unlocked me the trophy Snooze and Soothe for healing by sleeping for the first time. Then about 2 more hours of completing the story, I came across my first way to build a road. These are introduced in the central region, and they make it so much quicker to get across the countryside, as you're able to use vehicles to speed through on the road. You can't place the roads anywhere, they're in set positions, but they still make it super helpful to get through the central region. And in order to build the road, you have to feed the terminal the right amount of materials, which are Kyra crystals, metals, and ceramics. And by doing this, I got the trophy All Roads Lead to the UCA for completing my first road. A little while later in the story, I also unlocked the ability to use autonomous bots, which automatically do deliveries for you. However, they're not as good as doing it yourself, as they can only achieve an A grade due to the damage that the packages take and how long the bot takes to get there. However, it is a good way to increase your likes and the connection to each facility without having to make way more deliveries. So I sent the first one off to try it out, and after a couple of deliveries later, it automatically popped up saying that the bot had made its delivery, and I got myself a trophy, the Automation Revolution, for completing a standard order with the delivery bot. Once again, about another 2 hours later into the story, I ended up getting this guy here, the junk dealer, connected up to the UCA, and after that cutscene, he sent me an email saying that he had a pile of junk next to his shelter that he needed to be thrown into the crater lake. So I thought that was a mission that I had to do. So I gathered up all these junk outside, which was all contaminated by chiralium. I made my way over the hill to the tar crater lake. There I learnt that I am able to throw cargo, and so I threw all of the cargo pieces into the lake, and for the first one I got the trophy Public Service Porter for disposing of chiralium contaminated cargo in the crater lake for the first time. And no, I didn't actually get anything for doing this like I thought I would. I mean, I did get the trophy, I guess, so that's one thing. And about 15 minutes later though, I did get my next trophy. Just like in Ghost of Tsushima, you are able to relax in a beautiful hot spring. And bathing in here restores your health and your stamina, and you get to have a good lovely time with your BB as well, who just floats there on the surface. And by chilling in here for a while, I did end up getting the trophy Soak and Sigh for taking your first hot spring bath. And then about 2 hours later, it was time to finish off the chapter where I had to make a delivery all the way from Lake Knot City to South Knot City. Luckily, I'm observant because I read my mail and also looked at the delivery package, and it said that this was a nuke that I was carrying to the city for some reason. That guy did seem a bit sus, so I knew I had to stop on the way at the distro center to show it to Fragile. And whilst at the distro center, Sam realizes that it was Higgs, or the main bad guy, who gave him the nuke. And so Sam and Fragile devise a plan to throw the nuke into the tar lake, which is where I got that trophy earlier. So luckily I knew exactly how to get there and how to throw it into the lake. So I made my way there quickly, threw it into the lake, and saved the city from getting nuked. And so from there, I completed the correct delivery to South Knot City, getting me the trophy I Won't Break for completing Episode 3, Fragile. After completing this delivery, I did also get this trophy, Well Traveled, for traveling 80 kilometers and completing an order. This just accumulates over time and it's pretty much unmissable. After that, we then head straight into chapter 4, where Sam ends up getting sucked into this gigantic storm, which transports him to this World War I battlefield somehow. And here is where we are introduced to Mads Mikkelsen's character. I don't want to spoil too much, but essentially he is hunting down BB for whatever reason. Play the game to find out. And essentially this is a boss fight, as it's in this combat area. You have to take down Mads Mikkelsen's goons that he sends out, and then you also have to take him down 4 times in total. And I actually struggled with this boss fight at first, as it's hard to take cover and I was kind of just rushing it, ending up in me getting lasered. And I died quite a few times, so it took me a while, but eventually after having some patience I did manage to defeat him. And this unlocked me the trophy BB for completing episode 4 Unger. And so after that, I decided to clean up my combat skills a bit by going back into some training drills. And after completing one of them, I ended up getting the trophy, the world's most popular porter, for reaching a total of 50,000 likes on the results screen. So this has just accumulated over my playthrough. And so after that, I decided to continue on with completing some more of the main story and some more side quests, including unlocking the zipline, which will be very important later on, as this makes traversal so much quicker. I also did a side quest involving delivering some pizza, which will be important later on as well. And then eventually I went on to finish episode 5, unlocking the trophy We're Whole Again. In episode 5, I also unlocked a very overpowered way to take down BTs in one hit, and that was by sneaking up to them and cutting the umbilical cord using my handcuff knife thingy. And by doing this, I unlocked the trophy Rest in Pieces for cutting an umbilical cord without the BT noticing. Continuing on with the story, about an hour later, after traversing the snowy mountains, I eventually unlocked the next trophy after another massive storm hit and sucked us into it. Completing episode 6 Deadman, unlocking BBs, a bridge between this world and the one beyond. And so in this next episode, again I had another boss fight against that same dude from earlier, but instead of being during World War I, we are now in World War II. And this time, because I knew what I was doing in these areas, I managed to defeat him a lot easier, getting myself a quick little story trophy, BB, for completing episode 7 Clifford. And then, not going to lie, I probably spent the next 4 hours just traversing the snowy mountains, connecting new places to the network, until eventually I got the next story trophy, which was 60 deaths and 60 births in a day for completing episode 8 Hartman. And not too long after that, I actually ended up unlocking the trophy The Post Guides the Present for reading 100 mails, so it's very important that you read all your emails in this game. Continuing on with the story, I had to make my way across the tar belt in order to get to the third and final western region of the map. And whilst I was there, I had to fight Troy Baker and his gigantic massive boss monster thing. But honestly, this boss fight was pretty easily, because even if you die, you are able to repatriate and respawn exactly at the point you just left off, so even if you die, it really doesn't mean anything. And so in the end, I was able to defeat it pretty easily. Unfortunately, though, I wasn't done yet, as Higgs got away, so I had to track him down to his beach, where he revealed that if one of us dies, that's it, there is no repatriation here on his beach. But luckily, his boss fight again wasn't that hard and I didn't end up dying at all, so I was able to complete it on my first attempt.
If you don't want to live, if you want to survive, you gotta fight for it. I'm talking about fight right here, right now. Take the snap.
Oh, damn. And so by defeating Higgs, I managed to get the trophy The Particle of God for completing episode 9 Higgs. I then after that had to trek all the way back to where I started the game, so along the way I decided to make some deliveries, which resulted in me unlocking the trophy Pumped Porter for delivering 3,000 kilograms of cargo in total, which of course accumulated over time. Now, I'm not sure if you remember earlier, but I mentioned delivering some pizza. Well, I had to do this 4 times throughout the game, always delivering to this guy named Peter Engler. Well, I had one final pizza to deliver to him, and after you make this final delivery, you are allowed access into his shelter, where it is revealed that it is actually Higgs the whole time, posing as Peter Engler. Also unlocking the trophy God Particle Go-Getter for finding Higgs home. But with that nice little surprise out of the way, I made my way back to Lake Knot City, where another storm hit, again sucking me into it. But this signified the end of episode 10, unlocking the trophy I Am Your Die Hardman. And this time I had to fight the same guy for the 3rd time, once again, this time not World War I or World War II, but during the Vietnam War. And once again, by beating him, I unlocked the trophy, Bring Back My Baby, for completing episode 11, Clifford Unger. Now, the next 3 trophies I got are all the final story-related trophies, and I don't really want to spoil anything here because the twists in this game are so good. You should really play it for yourself. The twists and turns at the end of the game make the story all worth it. The only thing I'll show you here is another BT boss fight against this giant whale, which again was fairly simple. But here were the final 3 story trophies that I got. She's waiting for you on the beach for completing episode 12, Bridges. Thank you, Sam, for completing episode 13, Sam Strand. And finally, I got Thanks for Everything for completing episode 14, Lou. After completing the story, the game put me into episode 15, Tomorrow is in Your Hands, which is set 2 weeks before the end of the game, and this allowed me to move on to stage 2, which was to clean up the rest of the trophies. So the first miscellaneous trophy I went for was to head to the terminal and select the supply request and request some supplies from other players. I swear I remember doing a tutorial of this earlier in the game, but apparently I hadn't done it yet, and so by issuing the supply request, I got the trophy, A Helping Hand, for issuing my first supply request. The next trophy I went for was to build at least one of every type of structure, as throughout the game, I made quite a few of them, but not quite all of them. I had to make a cargo catapult, a timefall shelter, a jump ramp, and the final structure I was yet to build was a chiral bridge. After building those final 4, I unlocked the trophy, Master Builder, for completing at least one of every type of structure, including signs, ladders, and climbing anchors. Next trophy I went for was again another easy one. I had to fully take out all enemies at a single mule camp, and this was quite easy now that I had pretty overpowered weapons at the end of the game. But once I had knocked out all of the enemies at one of the camps, I unlocked the next trophy, which was Pathfinder, for helping porters through a mule or terraced area for the first time. So essentially taking out all of the enemies in the camp allowed normal porters or deliverers to be able to walk through that area unharmed. Speaking of porters, I actually managed to bump into some only a couple of minutes later, and by giving the porter a couple of likes, the porter offers up a package for me to take, and in return, if I drop a package for him to pick up, I unlocked the trophy, Any Porter in a Storm, for trading with another porter for the first time. After that, I then moved on to the next trophy to upgrade every single structure to the max level 3 at least once. Whilst I was doing this, I actually ended up getting a different miscellaneous trophy, Childminder, for reaching the maximum connection level with BB, which you are pretty much guaranteed after a while to get. After doing that, I moved on with trying to upgrade every single structure, and my goal with this was to try and find another person who had already built a structure which had appeared on my map that was level 2, and just go and finish off that to get it to level 3, as upgrading other people's structures counted towards this trophy. There were 10 structures in total to fully upgrade to level 3, including these 7 which were part of the original Death Stranding, and then there were 3 extra ones that were added on with the director's cut, and of course that's the version I'm playing, so I had to upgrade all 10 structures to level 3. This was pretty tedious, just trying to get all of the different materials in order to upgrade each structure, but if you have the patience to do it, you are able to unlock the trophy Trailblazer for upgrading all types of structures to the maximum level. Next trophy I got was another very simple miscellaneous one, which was for reading 100 interviews, unlocking the trophy The Past Guides the Present, and these you unlock just by making deliveries and increasing your connection, so you'll definitely have 100 interviews whilst going for the platinum. After that, it was now time for the main grind of the game to become the best delivery person, which was simply by making a ton of deliveries. And this is done by completing standard orders, which are the optional orders that you can do, kind of like side missions, and you just have to do a ton of those. And eventually I got the trophy deliveries done for completing 36 of them. This was by far the longest grind I've ever had to do, going for a platinum so far. I had to not only connect every single facility to the USA by getting 2 stars, I also had to get every single facility to the max connection level, which was 5 stars. For each facility, I would say it is about 5 deliveries you have to make to get to 5 stars, maybe more for some of them. In total, there are 39 facilities that you have to connect up, so you do the math, 39 times 5. So at minimum, you're looking at about 200 deliveries that you have to make, if not more. That is why it is important to make zipline routes, as it makes this process so much quicker, as you can just just zip everywhere, go straight to each facility without having to run around. Is by far the quickest method. Luckily, you are able to stack this trophy with some other trophies for doing a certain amount of premium deliveries. I'll get into that later on when I unlock that trophy, but for now, I was making sure that every single standard order I did, I chose the premium delivery, which is the harder version. Back to connecting all the facilities. For each facility I got to a connection level 5, I unlocked a star, and I had to get all of these to get the trophy. And by setting up a very efficient zipline network, I was able to get through all of the eastern region fairly quickly, as there are only about 8 facilities here to get to level 5 connection. So after that, I was able to move into the central region, which is where the real fun begins. The western region, there are no facilities to connect, so once I'd done the central region, I was all done with this trophy, but there are heaps of facilities to connect in this central region. My first plan of action was to unlock the truck, which I wish I had during the main game, but I didn't get it until now by upgrading a connection with one of the facilities. This allowed me to carry heaps of materials in the back of the truck, so then I was able to build the main road in this central region, which would make getting across large distances a lot quicker. To coincide with this, just south of the Timefall farm, you are able to build a racetrack where you're able to, of course, race with your vehicles. And by unlocking the racetrack, you also get a new vehicle called the Roadster. And once you've completed all of the Roadster races on the racetrack, you unlock the ability to make it in the open world. And this was so awesome to use, as it made driving across the main roads a lot quicker as well, as it was by far the quickest car in the game. However, it was really only good on flat surfaces like the road, so if I was going to do more off-road deliveries, I would use the bike or truck instead. After that, I went back to not only building the roads, but also focusing on finding all of the facilities that I hadn't found throughout the main game, and getting them to 2-star connection level to get them connected to the UCA, as there are certain facilities you'll never find unless you go out of your way looking for them. And some of these optional facilities were so annoying to deliver to. For example, this guy here, the first prepper, his base was situated on the side of a hill in the snowy mountains, and making deliveries to him was a pain in the ass, and he also made me do so many deliveries just to get him to 2-star connection. I got a B. What for? What? And you didn't even join the UC. You, my friend, suck. He was by far the worst, but I had to do it. So after another about 2 hours of making deliveries to these new places, trying to get them connected, finally got the first trophy in Sam We Trust. Connect all facilities to the UCA. But of course, I was only halfway done, as I still had to get every facility 5-star max connection. So I went back to making more deliveries. And eventually I got to the point where I unlocked the trophy Hooked on Delivering, for delivering a total of 700 items of cargo across the game. In the process, I also managed to rebuild the entire road of the central region, which I'm surprised wasn't actually a trophy, since there was one for building my first road. Surprised there wasn't one for completing every single road. But anyway, this helped make deliveries go by a lot quicker, as I could use the Roadster, or the quickest vehicle, to quickly zoom myself around the map. Continuing on from that, I continued to head to facility, trying to get each one to max connection, along the way making sure I set up an efficient zipline network so I could make these deliveries a lot quicker, getting max connection a lot quicker as well. I also made sure to use the autonomous bot orders to my advantage as well. As I continued to make connections, I unlocked more and more bots until I had around about 5, and using these definitely made the connections go up a lot quicker, as they just made the deliveries autonomously without me having to do anything. However, it is worth noting that each time you want to get a new star for a facility, you actually have to make a order in person, as the bots won't actually increase it by a star level. You have to do that yourself. Anyway, even with all those factors in play, trying to make this as quick and effortless as possible, I reckon it took me around 15 to 20 hours just to max out the connection with every single facility. And so by far the longest trophy I've ever had to grind for, I eventually got it, Best Beloved, for reaching the maximum connection level with all facilities. However, unfortunately, I was not quite done with deliveries, as I still had to get Legend of Legends in 20 deliveries for each evaluation category, so 80 in total. Using the trophy pop-up, I was able to see that I only needed one more for the first trophy. Luckily for me, I also knew that throughout making all those deliveries to get connection level, I knew I hadn't really been doing the time-sensitive ones with this icon here, so I knew those were mainly evaluation category deliveries I had to make in order to finish off the trophy. I didn't know it at the time, but there was a way to check in your stats to see exactly how many of each evaluation category you'd done, and as you can see here, delivery time focus was the final one I needed, as that's the one I ended up getting exactly 20 for. And so by focusing on delivery time orders, I did get the first trophy, Birth of a Legend. Also by focusing on delivery time, it was the final grade that I needed to get to level 60 on my grade star here, as you can see, unlocking me the trophy Great Deliverer for reaching grade 60 in all the different delivery evaluation categories. Moving back to that second trophy, I had to get Legend of Legends on these unique deliveries, and the only way to get Legend of Legends is by playing on hard difficulty, and that is why I had been playing on it for the whole game, as on normal difficulty you can only get Legends, not Legend of Legends. Whilst completing about the final 10 ones I had to do, I also figured out that they had to be unique, and you could tell by looking on the left here on the deliveries, it would show you what rank you had already gotten on that delivery, so you'd already done it before, so I had to make sure I chose one that I hadn't done a delivery for yet. And so luckily by figuring that out, it made sure that all the deliveries I did counted towards getting the trophy, so I wouldn't have any that didn't, which of course finally did result in me unlocking the trophy Growth of a Legend. Now I was mainly done with completing all the grindy delivery quests. I just had 2 more miscellaneous trophies to finish off. The first one was for fabricating all available weapons and equipment at least once, and so I went to a nearby facility where I went one by one making every equipment at least once, and once I held too much cargo I would just recycle all the equipment I had just made in order to make the next amount that I had to, and then once I had made all the vehicles at least once as well, the trophy didn't pop for some reason. And after doing some research, I figured out that they had added plenty of new items to the director's cut, and the guide I was looking at only showed the items I had to make for the original game. So finding a list of the director's cuts item, I then figured out there were 3 more equipment that I had to unlock first. They were the Gravity Gloves, the Type A truck, and the Roadster Long Range. To get the first 2 pieces of equipment, I had to complete the Half-Life side quest chain, and to get this you had to look through your mails carefully and read specific mail relating to the quest to find out exactly what to do. There had been a Cyberpunk 2077 one I'd done throughout the game, but for some reason I just missed the Half-Life one, so I had to go back and complete that until eventually I unlocked the Gravity Gloves, which is of course a reference to Half-Life. And I seriously wish I'd unlocked these earlier before completing the main story or even going for the delivery grind, as it allows you to pick up cargo from 15 meters away and it automatically transports into your hand so you can put on your back. Anyway, I also, after completing another quest, unlocked the ability to create the A truck, as you can see here, completing those first 2 bits of equipment off my to-do list. To get the third and final equipment piece I needed, which was the long range Roadster, I had to go back to the racetrack and get S ranking on all the Roadster races in order to unlock that one. I then just had to go to a place nearby to craft it, finally unlocking the trophy Homo Faber for fabricating all available weapons and equipment. Now, the final trophy I had to get was for getting all of the memory chips, aka getting all of the collectibles. And as you can see, just by exploring throughout the main game, I had actually collected quite a few of them already, as I only needed to find 11 more of them. And the other reason why I left this trophy to last is, according to the guide, it is recommended that you max out all the connection with every facility, as some memory chips don't appear until you have maxed out a connection with a certain facility. And of course, I also did use a guide, as I couldn't be bothered finding these myself as they don't appear on the map. So using the guide, I made my way through fairly quickly to find all of the memory chips, until I just had to make one final delivery to share the memory chip data. Yes, Fount of Knowledge, restore all memory chips, 100%. Yes, greatest of great deliverers, obtained all Death Stranding trophies. Yes, yes, let's go, come on. And so yes, by becoming the greatest of great deliverers of all time, I finally unlocked the Platinum Trophy for Death Stranding. Looking at my stats, my total playtime was 81 hours. So surprisingly, I actually beat the guide. It didn't take me 100 hours, it only took me 80 hours, which is still a long time. And in the end, I did 474 total orders. That being said, 150 of them were completed by the bots, but that means the other 300 odd was all done by me. In my last video on Shadow of the Colossus, I said that game was my most grindy platinum I've ever done. Well, guess what? For some reason, I decided to do Death Stranding straight after, and I would say this is now my most grindy platinum I've ever done. Would I recommend it to you guys to try out? I don't know, depends if you have the patience for the platinum, then go ahead and go for it. If you don't, I would still highly recommend you check out the game and try and complete the story, because the story is absolutely phenomenal, and the gameplay is more in depth than you think. It's definitely not just a walking simulator or an Amazon delivery package simulator. It is so much better than that. Definitely try it for yourself. One of the best stories in video games I've ever played. Let me know down in the comments below what you think of this game's platinum and story, and also let me know down in the comments below what game you want me to do next. I'm actually thinking I might try and start going for games that are in a franchise, so then I can platinum every single game in the series. So if you have any good series in mind, please comment down below. With that being said, thank you all so much for watching. If you made it this far in the video, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys all in the next one.